The rise and influence of the Russian nobility, known as the dvoryanstvo, is a compelling tale that echoes through the annals of history. Emerging in the Middle Ages, this influential class wielded immense power and shaped the course of Russia's future. By the year 1914, the nobility comprised of approximately 1.9 million members, making up about 1.1% of the population in the Russian Empire. The dvoryanstvo held prestigious positions within the government and were governed by a self-regulating body called the Assembly of the Nobility. The term dvoryanstvo has its roots in the court of a prince or a duke, and later the Tsar or emperor. What began as a reference to servants in the estate of an aristocrat evolved over time into a formal status symbol, thanks to the influx of commoners into the noble ranks. In contrast, the nobility of other parts of the world had their own unique characteristics. The British nobility, for instance, was fundamentally hereditary, with titles passing down from generation to generation. Their roles were primarily ceremonial, and they played a significant part in the monarchy. The French nobility, on the other hand, were not just about lineage, but also about merit. They could be created by the monarch for distinguished civil or military service. The Russian nobility, however, was granted land by the state in return for their service to the Tsar. These estates eventually transitioned into private property and formed the basis of the landed army, the primary military force of Russia. The nobility's power was further solidified by Peter the Great, who introduced Western European influences into Russia. Yet these influences were mostly superficial and limited to the court. The nobility as a whole remained conservative, with only a minority holding liberal and radical views. Peter the Great also enforced changes in fashion, language, and mannerisms among the nobility. The nobility's attire, for example, transitioned from traditional Russian garb to Western European styles. The Russian language was also influenced, with French becoming the language of the court and the nobility. But the tale of the Russian nobility is not just a story of power and influence. It is also a story of change and evolution. The title of nobleman in Russia gradually became a formal status, and the nobility began to include commoners. This inclusion was not without its tensions, as it led to a blurring of the lines between the aristocracy and the common people. Consider the implications of this evolution. How did it shape Russia's history and culture? How did it influence its interactions with other nations and its place on the world stage? Reflect on the role of the nobility in shaping societal norms, in driving political decisions, and in influencing cultural changes. The story of the Russian nobility is a fascinating journey through a history marked by power, influence, and change. It is a tale that continues to resonate today, providing valuable insights into the complexities of societal structures and the dynamics of power. As you ponder over this narrative, think about how it mirrors, contrasts, and intersects with the stories of nobilities from other parts of the world. And so, we leave you with the rich tapestry of the Russian nobility, a story that is as intricate as it is influential, as compelling as it is complex. A story that continues to shape and be shaped by the ebb and flow of history.